Hi guys, Mickey here, Hampshire Outdoors and Survival. Hey, hope you're all doing good. Thank you very much for all those people that have subscribed. Thank you to everybody that's commented and liked. I answer all of them. Yeah, thank you for following me and thank you for joining me. It's really appreciated. Today we're up the woods. It's only a short one today because we've been pretty busy and both of us have been a bit off colour. We've had about 3 hours up here to go. We've done a bit of a survey on an area, getting things organised for the spring, getting set up. Had a bit of a litter pick around the area to make sure everything's good. And again, it's midwinter up here. The wildlife is struggling, okay? The birds and the wildlife up here is doing its best to get by. We've just come through a very cold spell. So we're keeping the disturbance down to a minimum. Right? Give our wildlife a chance to get by. This week's video, I'm covering a very, very unique form of tinder fungus for you. Okay, won't say too much, you're going to enjoy that. And I'm going to give you a bit of a chat about probably what is the number one most essential thought process you must have when you're going outdoors. Okay, guys, enjoy the video. Please like, subscribe, share. This is Mickey, let's get on with it. It's so damp. So I'm going to teach you an ancient technique and we're going to go foraging. So yeah, foraging for tinder, but this is a tinder that is very rare in the United Kingdom. It's very hard to find. This has taken years and years of training and practice to perfect this method. Now, a couple of items I'm going to need for it is, first of all, bushcraft knife. And the next thing I need to do, I need to prepare a stick. So let's take a stick, and this stick I'm going to put a point on.
Why'd you put a point in it, Mick?
Oh, all will become apparent. See, in collecting this particular tinder, you may come under attack.
Oh, right. Okay.
So you want a sharp stick.
Is it true that moles guard this certain type of
Yes,
material?
moles do guard this particular tinder and they guard it with a vengeance.
Right, okay.
So hence the pointy stick. Now I don't advocate stabbing moles, but if it comes for me, I'm going to defend myself. I've got to get home to the wife tonight and I don't want to be taken down by a mole.
Be careful, mate.
I'll be careful, mate.
I'll stand back, yeah?
Yeah, you stand by. You've got the med kit with you, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Tourniquet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all here, mate. Be careful, mate.
So when you're finding this particular tinder, you need to find yourself a mixed woodland, plenty of leaf cover, and like I say, you want to keep the stick to hand. You want to observe, you want to be able to smell on the wind at all times. Okay, you are looking for smell of damp. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to look, we're going to scan the ground at all times, looking for movement marks. Now, a lot of people would see this old pine stump and think to themselves, fat wood. Yeah, but you've got to get in there and harvest it. Will be next year. Oh, bit of luck back. Here.
Be careful.
I'm going to have to approach very carefully and quietly.
Oh, Mick. Just watch yourself,
You can
mate.
see this slight rise in the ground here.
I don't want to come too close.
Yeah. This slight rise has been caused by burrowing animals that hate this particular fungus pushing it to the surface. Okay, they don't want it in their burrows, they don't like it, so they push it to the surface and you can find it. So I'll take my pointy stick and I'll very carefully start working away. And here, yeah, we got one, Mac, got one.
Whoa, that's a big one.
Yeah, look at this. That's perfect. A pinus fungus tinder mushroom. Okay. Now, very few woods in the UK have these, and if you're lucky, you may find one. We're going to see if we can find another couple whilst we're out here, and then what we'll do is we'll prep these down. We'll put a brew on.
Are they edible, Mick?
If you're a beaver.
Cool.
Okay. So, oh, there's another stump here. There's another slight mound near it. So what we're going to do, again, coming in with the pointy stick.
Whoa.
Oh, look at this. This is a beauty. Look at that. Wow. That's a beauty. And when you harvest it, twist it and lift it. Okay, that's two. We should be able to get a reasonable fire going with that, will we? Another one there. Another one there.
Can't believe how quickly you can spot them.
It's years of practice, my friend.
Experience,
Years of
I suppose,
practice.
yeah.
And it's knowing the smell as well. Okay?
Yeah, I can see that, mate.
Yeah, you see? Very carefully
Watch
move
yourself there,
it.
mate.
Yeah. And I would never advise getting your fingers down there. That'll do us. So there you go. Tinder mushrooms. Okay? Get out of the woods, see if you can find yourself some.
I'd put a warning in so that it might.
Yeah. Just be aware, moles guard these ferociously, so you do want a pointy stick. Let's get a brew one. So, hello guys, hope you enjoyed that little skit. It's just a bit of fun. And again, I'm not knocking anybody for taking a bit of tinder out with them either. It's common sense, prepping, bushcraft and survival. So at the end of the day, carrying a couple of little bits of dry tinder like that can be the difference between getting a fire going and not in an emergency. And again, this is a training centre up here, so the guys run off-road driving courses out in a rural environment. And when it gets really cold, they need to get a fire going, and they don't want to mess about doing a bushcrafty thing because they're teaching off-road driving. So they always keep a couple of bags of tinder floating around. We've had a look around, we have found some natural resources up here, we've taken some bits and pieces out of the trees, but I wanted to point out the fact that there is no harm and no disrespect in going out and grabbing a bit of tinder. It's worth having, 3 small pieces like that in the bottom of your bag will get your fire going. So again, take resources as you need them. And again, for those of you that live in say a town or somewhere like that, we've got a small space, a small back garden, you're not going to be able to do the bushcrafting and the foraging. You can still practice your skills on these sort of things. So you can take a small piece of pine like this, you can batten it, okay, so we can practice our skills battening, okay, you can take that down quite small. Okay, and you can produce small pieces of wood with that, or if you wanted to, again, producing feather sticks. Okay, so you can practice your feather sticks. So that's pretty much the go-to method for most guys. Knife in, make sure it goes in reasonably well. Secure it with that hand. Don't put your fingers in front of the blade. And that's a lot more controlled method. So again, you can produce your feather sticks that way. Can anybody for going out with a bit of kindling. Not knocking anybody for going out with a bit of kindling, carrying supplies with them, it actually makes sense. And again, if you're in a public woodland and it's somewhere you don't have permission to light fire, harvesting materials from the woodland itself is an offence because you don't have permission to do that. So carry a bit of kindling in with you. You can't be accused of damaging the environment, and as long as your fire's contained and it's sensible, you probably won't have an issue from anybody. Okay, so there we go. That's my thoughts on kindling, guys. Let's get a brew on. Alright guys, and as we said before, fire is a process. It takes a little bit of thought, okay, a little bit of thinking. So what I'm going to do, as I've bought this kit out with me today, I'll demonstrate it. Right guys, yeah, so firelighting is a thought process. So of course, got a lighter. The first thing I've got there, I've got some kindling materials, and I've got some of the cotton pads in there. But what I'm going to do today, I'm going to light the fire. I'm going to go, as I said before, spark, ignition, fire. Okay, we've already produced some kindling, so I want something that's going to take the spark to ignition. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to use a bit of fat wood to take the spark to ignition. Okay, simple process. Now, how do I like to do this? I like to do it like that. It makes it controlled. and I let the fat wood curl up stick. I do it over a piece of leather, which means I can collect all these little shavings. And you want quite fine shavings, you don't need to go mad. As you see, my hand's sort of shrouding it, so it stops it from going everywhere. And just a small amount like that. A small amount like that is what I'm going to use to start my fire. So let's bundle that up, put that to one side safe, and that's the other bonus. I've now got some scrapings in that leather. I can fold it up, move it to one side. I'm not losing them, they're not going everywhere. Okay, so we're going to get a little brew going. And what we're going to use today, I am going to use nice little bag. That, look at that, a bag, simple pocket from a pair of OGs. Bit of brew on, little folding stove, nice and simple, dead easy to use. Cheap as chips online. So again, that's where we're going to make our fire. So I'll make a little fire in there, make our brew. So the first thing I'm going to do is prepare everything, get everything positioned out where I want it, so that I can build this quickly and easily with a minimum amount of effort. So take your kindling out, your sticks, your feather sticks, whatever you're going to use, place them to one side in order of size. Okay, and I've got a little tiny bit, as we can see there, of fat wood. Now, so we're going to go spark to fat wood. Fat wood, we're going to go to, I think we're going to use one of these pads. Again, so what do, tear open the pad, simply like that. Okie doke. Pull this to one side. And this is the Forest Fundamentals Artisan Fire Kit, okay, which I mentioned in the video the other day. Place that in place. There we go, that's that ignited, bit of fat wood going. Now I've not tipped the fat wood into the fire pit. First, I'm going to light the, then place that in the fire pit, and the reason being is I don't want everything to fall through the bottom of the fire pit. And then what we can do, we can build our fire above that using our feather sticks we want, or just some small pieces of kindling. And as we said before, these the wax pads will burn for about 7 minutes.
So good, isn't it? So
yeah.
Good.
Right, we'll let that get going. Starve it of oxygen. And I'll try not to keep dropping my bits of wood on the ground where it's wet. So whilst that's getting itself initiated and underway, get the brew kit out. tell it's cold today. My fingers are stiff as anything.
Them pads, I would say they're probably one of the best fire lighting methods around, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. They are.
The good thing is they last, don't they? You know,
slow burn, and that's that thing, isn't it?
It gives it enough time.
We can all make a spark, but it's getting that spark to ignition to. Yeah. And again, it's a slow process. If you slow it down.
The thing is, getting fatwood's all right. It's getting hold of fatwood. It's not the easiest thing to get, is it?
No. Well,
especially if you don't know what you're looking for.
What we'll do in the spring. We've got a couple of stumps here. We'll go out and we'll show people some techniques in harvesting fatwood, so that they can get their own. And what we'll also do, we'll show people how to.
Where would probably be a good area to get some of it?
What's that?
Aldershot training area.
Aldershot training area. I've got a couple of stumps up here as well.
Okay. Oh, right,
yeah. And what I'm also going to do, I'm going to show people how to impregnate things like this kindling to make homemade fatwood. Because again, it's another system that does work, and it does work well. I want that to get reasonable kind of embers on it, so let's put that there, that there. And then we'll get it.
I'll tell you what else I was reading about the other day, Mick, was wood ash and the uses for the wood ash.
Oh, cross, yeah. Wood ash for lye, cleaning.
Yeah,
you want to clean a frying pan.
What it was. I was reading about different things you can clean with.
Yeah, make soap from it. There's also a technique using a piece of cotton. You can put wood ash into it, roll it up, and then use friction, pressure, just rolling it backwards and forwards, and it'll ignite the cotton.
Really?
Yeah, that's one we'll do next year. It's not really a go-to for me, but it is, again, it's another technique that I've tried over the years that works. So yeah, it's get as much information out as we can, because not everybody, that's the other thing, is again, is you always got to remember running a channel like this, not everybody has access to the facilities, the types of tree. If you were doing urban survival, I mean, this sort of kit with a bit of kindling for urban survival, or for somebody that's bugging in, as long as you can get out onto a what do you call it, a veranda or something like that, or a porch, or you've got a small space that's external where you could do it, again, on a tray like that.
Yep.
How much space is it taking up? As long as you can make sure that you get in clean air, not choking yourself out on carbon monoxide and fumes.
That's probably a good thing to put it on here, Mitch, about just a little bit about fumes, because coming from a fishing background as well, we get a lot of blokes killed who
carbon monoxide poisoning.
You know, they'll get in the bivvy, put the gas cooker on, get a bit warm, next thing you know, you're a goner.
Yeah, doesn't take a lot, does it?
Not
doesn't.
a lot at all.
And again, the other thing I like about this is it's got that little clip on it. That whole kit came as a one for 12 quid. Okay.
And fatwood.
Yeah, a little bit of fatwood, good ferro rod, clip, a whole lot. Sorry, my mistake, 16 quid. It's that one because I bought the biggest one, but you can get one for 12 quid. Yeah, clip it on there, it's all with you.
Because a lot of people don't realise fatwood is not an easy thing to come and find, is it?
Not unless, if you know what you're
doing.
If you know what you're doing, you've got good pine woods, you've got a good chance. If you don't, then, and you want to go with fatwood, I'd get one of those. I'd definitely get that kit. And that Forest Fundamental kits, I mean, I'm recommending them now. It's one of the few companies at the moment that I found, or that I put my name behind.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a decent size ferro rod in that as well.
Yeah.
And it's alright, these small ones, aren't they? They're good bits of kit, they're okay to have.
They're great backups, but I've got clumsy hands, and I've got old hands. Yeah.
Farmer's hands.
Yeah, I've got old hands that are suffering a little bit with the arthritis.
Boxer's hands, that's even worse. You can hear them, listen.
They've had a bit of abuse over the years, haven't they? Here, Mick. So, if you're going outdoors, you're an outdoors person, whether you're hiking, fishing, wild camping, bushcrafting, whatever you're doing, okay, very first thing that you've got to think about, no matter the time of year or the conditions, is your equipment and your shelter. And shelter starts with this, starts with your clothing, okay? It's the most important thing. Also, what kit you've got on you, what are you carrying, what do you need? Well, the great thing about most modern clothes is you've got pockets, okay? So again, you start thinking about pockets, and I don't talk about loading pockets up so that you can hardly move, but what kit is essential to you in an emergency that you want on you. Things like a whistle, okay, things like a source of light, maybe a small first aid kit, an initial reaction kit, okay, go in the trouser pocket, okay, your wallet, your mobile phone, they're all things you want with you, okay. So again, you've got to think about the gear you're wearing. Now, I see people wearing all sorts of gear, none of them are wrong, okay, they all suit the individual, but what you've got to think about is, on a day like today, we've come out, it's very cold, it's about 4 degrees, okay, got a nice warm jacket, got a nice t-shirt on, and I've got a nice shirt on as well, okay. So this works for me, because if we suddenly get very, very active, I can drop that down if I'm getting hot. And this is a secret, is don't allow yourself to get too hot, stay warm. If you start feeling hot, you're getting overheated, reduce it. Don't allow yourself to sweat, control that body temperature. So I can drop that down, I can drop it down further again to the t-shirt if I needed to. And then as the day wears on and the temperature drops, or I'm doing less activity, I can start building the layers back up, okay? Now, don't just think about this core part of your body, you've also got to think about this, your head, okay? It's just a basic baseball cap, it's a cheap Timu one, okay? But at the end of the day, the difference between having that on and having it off is quite huge. Now, I like baseball caps because they've got a peak, and I have glasses. So again, if it starts snowing heavy, it starts raining, it keeps that bit of moisture off my glasses and it helps me with my vision, okay? So that's the way to think about hats. You can wear a woolly hat, you can wear whatever you want, but you want something that's not going to overheat you, okay? That's almost as bad as being too cold. Trousers, same thing. I've had a couple of people say to me, oh, you're always wearing combats. Well, I'll tell you why I'm always wearing combats, because I get them from army surplus stores cheap, okay? The equivalent trousers, if I bought them as a brand, would cost me a fortune, okay? A lot of the modern ones are ripstop materials, okay? It doesn't mean that they're rip proof. However, if it does snag on something, that tear is not going to progress through the day, get worse and worse and worse, and end up you running around in a pair of shorts. The other thing is with military clothing is the pockets. The pockets are well thought out, they're usually quite large, they're usually quite deep. So again, it gives you places to put things, okay? Other things to think about. Simple as a shemagh. This has got 101 uses, from fire starting to water filtering, but primarily keeping you warm, keeping the conditions off. A smoky environment, you can cover your mouth and breathe through it. It will not prevent you from going down with smoke inhalation, but it'll help to reduce it and give you that little bit more essential time. I've used these as towels, I've used them for washing. Again, it's an essential piece of kit, right? In the summer as well. Yeah, in the summer you can use it to protect yourself from the sun. That's why the better ones are on. Simple piece of cloth like that, you know, over the top. You can give yourself shelter, you can give yourself shade. And again, that applies to the clothing as well. In the summer, do you want to take a nice thick puffy jacket out with you? Well, how long are you going to be out? Is there a chance you've been stuck out there at night? What's the conditions? Are you at high level? The temperature's going to come down. So again, people get caught out by conditions. So always have that bit of spare with you. Now, as you know, I'm always talking about the poncho, and I'll get the poncho out in a minute and rave about that as I always do. But again, you don't have to have a poncho. A cheap and cheerful waterproof jacket, okay, and this is a cheap one. It's about a £5, I think, from a fishing tackle shop, but it's 100% waterproof. It's not particularly breathable, but that combined with this is a lifesaver. If it starts to rain, conditions change, it gets wet, it gets cold, it gets windy, that is a perfect barrier. It's going to stop the conditions getting into the material in this and reducing my core temperature. Same thing with leggings, waterproof leggings, okay? Having a pair of waterproof over trousers, they don't need to be super expensive. Get the best you can, but get what you can, carry it. And these things pack down so small, and they're light, okay? And there's no reason never to have a waterproof of some sort with you, okay? And as I've said before and say again, can't say enough, it's not the wet that's going to kill you, it's not the cold that's going to kill you, it's not the wind that's going to kill you, but you combine any two of those three and you're in trouble, okay? And again, going back to my old favourite, which does me for so many roles, and that's the reason I like it, and I know not everybody does. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, not everybody likes it, but I like it. And here's, again, reason why. Simple poncho, Dutch Army poncho, whoever's poncho, doesn't really matter, but a poncho. The reason I love this thing is it does me for so many roles. It can be a shelter, it can be rigged into shelter, water collection, many things, okay? It's a good, honest piece of kit. It's quick to deploy. Okay, it's quick to deploy, easy to put on. People always say about wind. Well, if you have to, if the wind is that bad, take a bungee. Wrap a bungee around yourself, okay? If you wrap a bungee around yourself, if you find it's other hand, wrap a bungee around yourself, or a bit of paracord, you can cinch it in, okay? Helps to trap body heat. The other bonus with it is it is fairly breathable because it is open at the bottom, okay? And it goes over my rucksack, okay? My rucksack is dry, it's in here with me, all my kit's kept dry with it, okay? If I need to, I can find a tree, a position, and just hunker down, okay?
Like the cowboys used to do.
Yeah, I can hunker down, I'm trapping body heat. I'm trapping body heat under it, it's keeping the weather off. And it's so simple to carry use. In actual fact, I put this one on the inside out, so yeah, but even then it would still work efficiently. It wouldn't really matter. So those of you that spotted that and are going to comment, you've got it inside out, Mick. Spotty dog. It's only testing you, really. No, so that's why I like poncho. But I do accept the fact it's not everybody's cup of tea. If you prefer a jacket, go with a jacket, but have a waterproof and windproof layer with you. It is absolutely essential. Footwear, especially this time of year. Good pair of socks. People are always talking about boots. Socks, okay? Make sure you've got good socks. They're what's going to keep your feet warm. They also add a layer of padding. They also, good quality socks are going to prevent blistering and rubbing, okay? Boots. Boots are whatever you can afford, but make sure they're suitable for the environment. Okay, make sure you're comfortable in them. If you have to, again, use the socks to create that thermal barrier, that thermal layer inside. Carry a spare pair of socks with you. Right? You get wet feet, being able to put a dry pair of socks on is one of the most amazing feelings in the world, and will start the warming process very quickly. You can customise your gear, do excuse the belly, customise your gear. So I carry my Leatherman with me, that goes everywhere with me. Mobile phone. The other thing is, always put your kit in the same pockets. Mobile phone's always in this pocket, Leatherman's always on this side, okay? First aid kit's always on this side. That gives you a mental process. It means you go straight to the gear, okay? You know where it is. So even if you've had a bang to the head, things are going wrong, you're in a bit of a flapper and a panic, you know where it is. You can instinctively, my phone, okay? My glasses. So again, that kit, and it all comes back to this. This is your most basic. I've seen, and we've all seen it, we've seen guys out that do some brilliant camps and all the rest of it, but they forget about the basics. Start with this, guys, you know. Yeah, what else can we say? Not a lot else we can say, really, apart from think about what you're wearing, adapt the wearing, don't overload yourself. Just be sensible about it. Keep yourself warm and comfortable. Gloves, that's another one. Gloves, okay? I hate gloves. Mac can tell you, I loathe wearing gloves. I don't wear the gloves in the forge unless I'm welding. I hate having my hands compressed by things. but in these sort of conditions, a good pair of gloves. You're going to be handling fire, you're going to be chopping things, okay? A good pair of cut-proof gloves, heat-proof gloves, and I think there are a couple of companies that do the combined out there. Grab us a pair of them, it's worth having. So, anyhow, we're going to get a brew on. That's a chat about clothing. We'll get into bags, how to load a bag, put kit in it, and then another video at another time. That's going to be a video. Right guys, I'm going to finish this coffee, then we're going to pack up here, and then we're going to get back home, sit down, do some editing. Sorry it's a bit of a short video today. I'm sorry it's not that in-depth, okay? It's a bit of a thrown together. It's been a hectic couple of weeks, which I'm always saying that, but it has been. Mac's not been too well, so you know, I've been a bit off colour. So we've got out here today, we've done a quick video. We've been up here for probably 3 hours. Yeah, 3 hours. Temperature is dropping. It's getting a bit chilly now. The light's going down, the sun's going down. So we're going to pack up while we see what we're doing, get our gear away. Guys, thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, do all that stuff. Okay, I really appreciate it. It really helps the channel. To those of you that join us on a Sunday night on the live chat, I'll see you Sunday. Take it easy, guys. Have fun. For those of you that have chosen to become members to help support the channel, thank you, guys. You know who you are. I really appreciate it. There will be a video coming up for you later in the week. All right, guys. Wherever you are in this world, stay safe, get outdoors, have your adventures, try your ideas, take some of my thought processes, apply them to how you do things, and keep yourself safe. Have fun. Love those you do, forgive those you don't, and as always, peace and light be upon you all. This is Mick and Mac.
Bye, bye.
Catch you later, guys. Mickey out.